I want to make a slingshot, but where do I begin? Don't worry, I'm going to show you a couple of tips and tricks that I've learned to help make it a little bit easier, and by the end you'll see how simple and satisfying it is to make. I'm Don, and you are watching DeeeZ Slings. Welcome to my channel, and let's get started. This is a pickle fork. A pickle fork is a narrow slingshot with minimal gap here, so it's, I think, less than a ½ inch is what's called a pickle fork. Just a quick rundown, because some people may not know if you're new to the channel. Regular slingshot would be something with a big gap here versus pickle fork, which is a little gap. So that's the definition of a pickle fork in my book. So step one for me is to make a design. What I did was I just thought of a design in my head, I drew it out on some paper, and then I transferred it over to plywood. Once I got my design drawn on there, I cut it out. So now I have a template. This is the template for my pickle fork. Is it rough? Is it crude? Yes. All it does is serve a purpose to put a rough design down on a better piece of wood. Right? So you look through your wood pile and you see if any of those scraps or fresh pieces of board are going to work out for what you're doing here. Keep in mind you are going to be putting bands on this, and you are going to be stretching it back and shooting a projectile. So whatever hunk of wood you decide to use, make sure that it is capable of holding a band and not breaking. So watch your grains. Pick a sturdy wood without much defects or any defects. If it has to be reinforced, you're gonna either want to learn how to do that or just pick a better piece of wood. So I have found this one here, and this is gonna be what I'm gonna start with. See some knots and stuff in here, so I'm not gonna use that portion, but I believe that I can find a piece somewhere in there that will accommodate the size pickle fork that I am making today. So I know I'm going to waste a little bit of wood here, but I'm going to put this at an angle right here because I think I'm going to get some pretty cool grains in there. And this is some, I don't know what it is, but it's super sturdy. I've had no issues with whatever the hell wood this is. I'm not a woody kind of guy, so I couldn't tell you. But I'm going to go ahead and trace the outline here, and then we're going to cut it. So the saw that I'm using is called a Works, I can't remember what it is. I do have a review for that. Maybe I'll put that up in one of these corners or at the end of this video. But it's a reciprocating saw or a jigsaw. It's kind of spun over where the blade comes up and it sticks out right here. So the blade just constantly, and all you do is feed your board through there and you cut out your design. This saw works great for this. You can also use a handsaw if you don't have one of these. So don't limit yourself. If you just have a handsaw, you can still do the same thing. So let's get cutting. Okay, so we have a rough cut pickle fork here now. Now what I have to decide is, do I want to keep this thickness? Either take this edge off up top here and then kind of work my way down, or I can just leave it all the same. I think I'm gonna take a little bit of this top off, so I'll show you how I do that next. All right, guys, so if you haven't noticed yet, you know, I'm not hardcore into, you know, I'm not a professional builder, which is pretty damn obvious, but another point of this video I wanted to just explain to you is, with some perseverance, you can do things. You know, you don't have to just say, I can't do it because I don't have the right tools. I can't do it because I don't have enough knowledge or experience. You have to just get out there and do it. So as you can see, my garage is, I'm an average schmuck just like the rest of you, you know. I don't have a really high-end, nice place to work. It's dirty, it's grungy, but I can get the job done. So now what I have to do is come over here. In order to make this thinner, the best way that I found after a few different trials and error is to just put this into a vise and then using a handsaw just to take some of this off. This is what I have to work with, and this is how I'm going to get it done. So let's go ahead and bring you down and I'll show you how I do it. All right, so this is your standard run-of-the-mill bench clamp, bench vise I should say. One thing I did learn is if you're clamping it in here to do anything, if you clamp it down tight with just metal, it's going to give you some sort of marking on there. And in order to get rid of that marking, it can take a lot more sanding and time to do. So to help that, I just put some wood in there. Some people have their vices set up to where the wood's already built in. I don't, so I'm just going to do it like this. And then I'm just going to clamp it down. You'll hear that crunching. but it's the crunching of this wood and not this wood. I need to determine, I'm probably gonna go right up to the handle here, where it comes down to a narrow kind of point there. I'm gonna try and get this adjusted a little bit more. I want the thinness to come back out a little bit. So I'm gonna go down to right about where that V stops. And trust me, I've made many of mistakes that have turned out to be firewood. So I'm gonna go ahead and find a good spot up here. And we're just gonna slice off a little bit. So I'm not gonna measure this, guys. I'm just gonna go and make a little bit of a mark there. And a little bit of a mark there. Now we're gonna try our best to keep this as straight as possible. Now, this is not a machine-made piece, obviously, so there's gonna be defects. You're not gonna have a perfect straight lines and everything. So that's part of, I guess we'll call it artwork and not mass production. When I make my cut all the way down, I'm going to use this board here as kind of like a guide. I'm going to lay the saw on top. I'm going to gently try and work it back and forth. We're making pretty good progress here. What we are looking at now is we have some stuff to work with here. We got a thinner top, and then we have the thicker handle. What I'm going to use is a Dremel. All right, so we have rough shaping done now. I put a little bit of a curve on all of mine because I like the way it feels. So I have an offset handle, a little bit of a skinnier top, and then a fatter bottom, and then it curves. Next step is I'm gonna put you don't have to, but I'm gonna put a little bit of a gap right in the middle. So we're gonna get a drill bit, and we're gonna put a hole in this thing. So these pickle forks that I make should come out to about 60 millimeters. This one's a little fatter. Each one is unique, guys. So I'm gonna take this measurement here, which should be a 62, and we're gonna split the difference. That would be 31, right? Right in the middle. So we're gonna mark a 31 out in the middle, and we're gonna drill a hole. I'm gonna grab my drill. I start with a smaller drill bit, and we're gonna drill a small hole to start. The reason I do the small hole is because I don't know the trick behind getting a clean cut here, but if you use a big drill bit at the beginning, you'll get pieces that chip off and flake, and it can give you a little bit more of a hassle to try and get rid of. So I start with a small hole, then I go to a little bit bigger bit. Now we have a fairly clean hole here. I don't have to worry about that little booger there because I'm going to chop that out. So now I'm going to go back over to my saw, and I'm going to just cut a line to even out either end of this circle here. Check to see if your fork tips are the same or not. This is hard to see on the camera here, but that is looking like approximately like a 26 maybe. And this is looking thicker. So what I'm going to do is do this off camera, but I'm just going to cut down on this side a little bit and go in till I get an even fork on both sides. I'd like to take a moment to thank you all for watching my channel. I've really grown over the past year and a half, and it's all because of you. If you're new here, check out my other videos, and if you like everything you're seeing so far, hit the subscribe button for me. And all of my loyal followers, thank you so much, and make sure to hit that like button. Leave a comment. Let me know if this is the kind of video you like. If you've ever made one of these before, or any other ones, or whatever else you'd like me to talk about in future videos. Thank you. Next, you guessed it, more sanding. I don't have a belt sander, but I do have one of these guys here. It's a palm sander. There you go. I use 80 grit to start because I want to try and remove a fair amount of material. Then I'm going to work my way up. All I have available right now is 80, 120, 220. We'll look into it further, but we're gonna start with 80 grit first and get this thing pretty cool. All right, guys, we got her down smooth a little bit. I'm gonna run her through all the grits, and then I'm gonna show you how I put a little bit of a shiny finish on them, and then we're gonna shoot it. Oh my gosh, can't wait. This is it. It's not perfect. It never will be if I'm making it, but it's beautiful. I want to show you what the finish is gonna look like when I put the oil on there. See in there, I still got some stuff. I'm gonna clean that up with some sandpaper. But I think this thing is really going to look nice once I get the oil on there. What I'm going to use is probably linseed oil. Boiled linseed oil. Can't see it. That's what we're going to use. I'm just going to put this linseed oil onto a paper towel. And then I'm going to go ahead and just wipe it on. And then we're going to take a look at it and see what it looks like. But I do believe, yeah, it's gonna look good. This is turning out really, really nice, guys. This is like the moment. This is the moment that I always look forward to, is putting oil or some sort of finish on. I hate finishing, to tell you the truth. Like, as far as super glue and that kind of stuff, I am not a fan of. But it comes out looking very, very nice. So we're just gonna do a little coat of oil on here, and then we're gonna wipe it off. Man, that grain is something else. Look at that. That turned out super nice. This is a beautiful piece here, guys. Look at that grain right there. Camera doesn't do it justice. In real life, this looks super nice. All right, well, let's finish her up, and then we're gonna go give her a shoot. All right, guys, she sure looks good out in the sun. This one came out really nice. I'm gonna leave the finish the way it is, I think, and just kind of let the patina take over. I'm not gonna cover it with super glue or anything on this particular one, but let's go ahead and take some shots with it. I leave the band grooves off so you can decide on which way you would like to hold it. This particular one feels really good with the curve going down, so that's how I'm going to shoot it today. This is the absolute first shots with this thing, so we're going to see if we can get anywhere near target. I have a 40 hanging up down there, and well, let's see if we can get it. I am at my normal 10 meters here. Second shot. I can handle that. Guys, I'm gonna put a little tinier target up there. Actually, you know what? Let's do a paper plate. Let's see what kind of grouping we can get with a pickle fork here. Hold on one second. Today, we're just gonna put this paper plate up there, and I'm gonna do 10 shots at it and see if we can get any kind of grouping with a pickle fork. I've actually don't think I've ever shot paper with a pickle fork. And yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, now that we have the paper plate down there, let's go ahead and rip off 10 shots. I want to see what kind of group I can get. Leaning into the shot, so I'm going to pull you over here. All right, looks like an okay group. I had a couple of flyers, but you know, it is a pickle, and yeah. You know, I bet with a little practice, you could get pretty darn good with this. I was hitting that same hole over and over and over, but I did have, as you can see, a couple of flyers out and about, but 6 of them were in the same exact shot. I'm pretty damn pleased with that. All right, guys, so I'm a beginner maker here. There's lots of good makers out there that can get you a lot better information than I can. Main thing of this video was just to let you know to try it. Just get out there and try it. You don't have to have $50,000 worth of tools to come up with a good product. A little bit of time, a little bit of effort, and you will get a result that will make you happy. And it always is nice being able to create something from nothing and then go out and have some fun with it. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you next time.